Paint the picture with me for a second. It's Friday, July 3, 2026. You are standing on the bustling pavement of New York City, right outside Madison Square Garden.
Oh, the heat radiating off the concrete. I can just feel it.
Yeah, exactly. The summer heat is just baking the street. And suddenly, a fleet of massive black SUVs pulls up in perfect synchronization to this row of pristine white tents.
Just completely out of nowhere.
Right. And the massive crowd that has been gathering behind the police barricades all day, they just freeze. They are collectively holding their breath.
The tension must have been wild.
It was. And then the cameras start flashing in this blinding wave of white light. And just like that, Hollywood has a brand new obsession. An American royal wedding is unfolding right in the heart of Manhattan. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. And today we are pulling from a massive stack of sources, Variety, TMZ, People, New York Times, to look beyond the flashing lights of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding.
Which is, it's just the biggest story of the year.
Oh, by far. Our mission today is to unpack the mechanics of this event and figure out how they managed to defy, every single expectation the public had.
Defying expectations is honestly an understatement. We are looking at a masterclass in modern celebrity narrative control.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you have two people at the absolute pinnacle of their respective industries, music and sports, the sheer romantic and cultural scale of their union is staggering.
It's massive.
Right. It represents the ultimate convergence of two huge fan bases. But the real story isn't just that they got married. It is how they orchestrated this, billion-dollar cultural event while fiercely guarding the human story underneath it all.
Let's start right at the altar, because the first major detail we need to look at is the headline story that broke early Saturday morning. Taylor Swift broke a major wedding tradition.
And this was a shocker.
It really was. Despite having what is arguably the most famous and highly publicized social circle on the planet, there are absolutely no bridesmaids or groomsmen.
None. Zero.
Zero. The only people standing up there with them were their brothers. Austin Swift served as the man of honor, and Jason Kelce stepped in as the best man.
Which, I gotta say, is a brilliant, highly calculated move. If we look at the logistics of their social universe, there were reportedly 1,000 guests invited to the main ceremony.
1,000 people. That's a huge wedding.
Right. Now, imagine the sheer geopolitical nightmare of ranking your closest friends into a bridal party when your inner circle includes, Selena Gomez, Gigi Hadid, Blake Lively, Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the drama that would cause.
Exactly. In celebrity culture, a bridal party isn't just a group of friends holding bouquets. It is a public declaration of alliances.
I am going to push back on the idea that this was purely about avoiding the pressure of ranking friends, though. I think it's a much more aggressive branding choice.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Think about her history. She has proudly served as a bridesmaid multiple times over the years for friends like Lena Dunham, her childhood friend Abigail Anderson, Brittany Mack.
True. She definitely has that history.
Right. So she knows the visual power of a squad. It's like stripping down an arena stadium tour to an acoustic set.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Thanks. By completely stripping that away, she is actively killing a media narrative before it can even start. She is denying the tabloids the opportunity to write articles about who wore what dress, who was standing closest to the bride, who got snubbed.
That is the exact mechanism at play here. By reducing the wedding party strictly to siblings, Austin and Jason, they immediately lowered the temperature on the celebrity spectacle aspect.
It really does ground the whole thing.
It forces the media and the public to focus solely on the joining of two families rather than, the joining of two Hollywood Rolodexes.
Yeah.
When your entire life is highly choreographed and publicized, the ultimate flex isn't to have 14 matching supermodels behind you.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate luxury is to reclaim a sense of normalcy and say, no, we're just standing up here with our brothers.
It is a profound way to strip away the noise. And real quick, if you are loving these Hollywood twists and the psychology behind them, make sure you are subscribed, because we have got even crazier stories ahead as we unpack this.
So much crazier.
Because here is where the narrative takes a massive left turn. They stripped away the bridal party to reclaim some intimacy and normalcy. But wait till you hear what came next, because the venue they chose was the exact opposite of intimate.
The venue choice is the piece of this puzzle that truly shifted the paradigm of celebrity milestones.
They rented out Madison Square Garden.
Insane.
According to TMZ, they paid full price to secure the iconic Manhattan Arena for 3 whole days. 1 day for the setup, 1 day for the ceremony, and a third day for the breakdown.
I can't even imagine the cost of that.
We are talking about costs reaching well into the millions of dollars just for the raw space. And I have to be honest, I struggle to wrap my head around this choice. Madison Square Garden is a concrete cavern.
It really is.
It smells like stale pretzels and victory sweat. It is built for gladiators, rock stars, or the Knicks. It is not exactly the first place you think of for exchanging sacred vows. Like, why not a private island in the Maldives? Why not a sprawling estate in Rhode Island?
Well, you would think a private island offers more privacy, but it doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, a private island has an open perimeter. You can fly a drone over an ocean. Paparazzi can sit on boats with long lens cameras. You cannot fly a drone through the concrete roof of Madison Square Garden. What they built here is essentially a reverse panopticon.
Okay, wait. Explain how that works in this context.
So, a traditional panopticon is a prison design where one guard in the center can watch all the inmates around them. A reverse panopticon is when the people in the center build a massive, impenetrable shell around themselves so that the millions of people on the outside cannot look in. Madison Square Garden is a fortress.
That actually makes total sense when you factor in her touring history. She has performed at MSG multiple times. She knows the subterranean loading docks beneath Penn Station.
Exactly, she knows the layout.
She knows the underground tunnels and the dressing rooms. It's a military bunker. She already knows exactly how to navigate. A celebrity event planner told CBS News that they can control the perimeter of an indoor arena in a way that is physically impossible outdoors.
Exactly. And the New York Times reported that permits were filed with New York City to close the surrounding streets. The NYPD issued warnings about the influx of fans.
Which is just a massive logistical undertaking.
Oh, for sure. They essentially annexed a massive chunk of Midtown Manhattan and turned it into a private, heavily guarded living room.
But inside that concrete bunker, the visuals were anything but sterile. Let's look at the fashion. Representatives confirmed to People magazine that the bride and groom's looks were custom Christian Dior Haute Couture.
Gorgeous.
Designed by Jonathan Anderson, who worked in close collaboration with the couple. And this is a massive shift in the fashion world because this was actually Anderson's first couture wedding dress for a world-renowned celebrity.
It is a significant departure from the traditional, like, Vera Wang or Oscar de la Renta default that we usually see at this level of fame.
Yeah, definitely a choice to go with Anderson.
And she paired that Dior gown with Cartier jewelry, while both of them wore custom Christian Louboutin shoes. You have this incredible visual juxtaposition.
Oh, totally.
Two people standing alone with just their brothers, surrounded by the cavernous 20,000-seat architecture of Madison Square Garden, wearing the absolute height of Parisian haute couture.
It's striking. But they didn't leave the public completely in the dark. After they were officially declared husband and wife, the massive jumbotrons outside the arena on the street lit up hot pink and flashed the news. JusT&T married.
That is the breadcrumb. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it all goes back to July of 2023.
Oh, right, the Eras Tour.
Yep. Travis Kelce went to the Eras Tour at Arrowhead Stadium and tried, unsuccessfully, to give her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. He later talked about it on his podcast, saying he was disappointed he didn't get to meet her. That specific bracelet had TNT on it,
Which he later called metal as hell. Flashing JusT&T married on the Jumbotron brings that entire cultural origin story full circle.
It's so poetic.
It is a masterclass in giving the public a heavily curated piece of the puzzle so they feel included, which stops them from trying to dig for the actual private moments inside.
Which brings us to what was actually happening inside. Because amidst all this intense grandeur, the Dior, the Cartier, the rented-out arena, the NYPD street closures, you would naturally assume the officiant for this ceremony would be a prominent politician or a high-ranking religious figure.
Right, someone who matches the gravity of Madison Square Garden.
Exactly.
But I am still trying to wrap my head around this detail. The officiant was comedian Adam Sandler.
It's the best part.
You have custom Dior, millions of dollars in security, and Happy Gilmore is reading the vows.
It is the ultimate example of absurdist luxury.
Absurdist luxury. I love that phrase.
When you possess all the wealth, influence, and security in the world, taking yourself entirely seriously becomes obnoxious. The ultimate power move is to pair untouchable, elite luxury with goofy, grounded humor.
Yeah.
According to the celebrity news sites, Sandler didn't just officiate. He penned and performed an original song for them during the ceremony. Guests described it as humorous yet deeply touching.
Good Morning America co-host George Stephanopoulos actually attended the wedding, and his description lines up perfectly with that. He released a statement saying the vows were, quote, real, vulnerable, serious, and silly.
I love that.
He even posed the question, who knew that a wedding in Madison Square Garden could be so intimate?
The silly aspect is the crucial mechanism that makes this whole event work. They are both known for their sense of humor and for recognizing the absurdity of their own fame.
Right.
Having Adam Sandler officiate acts as a pressure release valve. It tells the 1,000 guests in the room, yes, we are in Madison Square Garden, but we are still just two regular people laughing at a comedian.
It is a brilliant psychological trick. Now, if you are enjoying this deep dive into the logistics and the hidden meanings behind the ultimate Hollywood wedding, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Yes, please do.
You won't want to miss our upcoming stories, because we haven't even gotten to the wildest part of this event yet. Later in the deep dive, we're going to talk about what the VIP guests actually received at the rehearsal dinner, a detail that proves this wasn't just a wedding, it was a literal economic stimulus package.
The rehearsal dinner is where the real status signaling happens. I mean, when you are dealing with this tier of wealth, locking down the main arena for 1,000 guests is only half the battle.
Right. The main wedding ceremony on Friday, July 3rd, was the massive gathering. But the night before, on Thursday, July 2nd, they hosted an ultra-exclusive rehearsal dinner for just 100 people.
Getting an invite to that Thursday night dinner was the actual golden ticket of Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely. They held it at the Infosys Theater, which is an intimate venue built directly into the Madison Square Garden complex.
Keeping it in the same complex is another brilliant security measure. No motorcades required between venues.
Let's talk about the favors for those 100 guests, because this is where the hypercuration becomes mind-boggling. According to page 6, guests were gifted black velvet boxes etched with T&T. Inside those boxes were champagne flutes adorned with actual diamonds.
Real diamonds, not Swarovski crystals, not rhinestones.
Real diamonds.
Yeah.
And those flutes were presented right alongside an engagement photo of the couple, but the photo was printed on frayed rustic fabric.
The mechanism of that aesthetic choice is fascinating. You have the ultimate symbol of hyper-luxury diamonds sitting right next to this rustic, folklore-esque frayed fabric.
It's such a contrast.
It is. When you are that famous, gifting a Rolex is boring. Gifting a custom diamond flute paired with a deliberately imperfect, frayed photo is a highly curated, tactile experience. It says we have infinite resources, but we still value the homemade, rustic aesthetic.
And the people receiving those boxes read like a cross-section of the most powerful figures in global entertainment. You had Gigi Hadid, Bradley Cooper, Ed Sheeran, Hugh Grant, Karlie Kloss, Polina Gretzky, and Jason Sudeikis.
What a rude...
It was a complete collision of the music industry, Hollywood royalty, and professional sports elites.
Bringing all of those people into one room isn't just a party, it is a macroeconomic event. The Knot, which is the massive wedding planning platform, had actually predicted this exact scenario. They called it a deconstructed wedding.
Wait, how did a deconstructed wedding differ from what we usually see?
So a traditional wedding is a single contained event, a ceremony followed by a reception. A deconstructed wedding means multiple marital moments, separate, highly produced celebrations to mark the newlywed status over several days.
Oh, okay.
Like the rehearsal dinner, the MSG ceremony, the massive after parties. But the Knot took it a step further. They forecasted a massive economic ripple effect from this specific union, estimating a potential $2 billion lift to the wedding industry. That is billion with a B.
Okay, I have to stop you there. How does a frayed fabric photo and a diamond flute in Manhattan translate to $2 billion in middle America? That number sounds almost fabricated.
It does sound crazy.
I mean, the U.S. wedding industry is massive, but can one couple's aesthetic choices really move the needle that much?
It is all about the supply chain of a cultural trend. This is the Swift effect applied to the wedding business. Last year, the U.S. wedding industry generated roughly $100 billion.
Wow.
Right? So moving the needle by just 2% injects $2 billion into the economy. Think about the cascade effect. A bride in Ohio sees the JusT&T married Jumbotron concept on TikTok.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. Suddenly, local neon sign makers have a 6-month backlog of orders. Local florists are scrambling to recreate the Dior-inspired floral arrangements. Planners across the country are suddenly booking multi-day deconstructed events for upper-middle-class couples who want to emulate the structure of the MSG wedding.
So it scales down from diamond flutes to, like, custom glassware on Etsy, but the sheer volume of people copying the trend creates the billion-dollar wave.
Yeah, precisely. And the media treated it as such. Major news networks were doing live updates from outside the police barricades. You had prediction markets where people wagered over $2 million just guessing which designer she would wear or where the venue would be.
Which brings up a really critical question about the nature of this entire weekend. Before the wedding, the couple made a reported charity donation of $26 million to various New York City initiatives.
That's a huge number.
On one level, that is incredible philanthropy.
Yeah.
But on another level, it functions as a preemptive PR shield to buy public goodwill when you are shutting down the center of Manhattan for your own private use.
Very true.
So with the street closures coordinated with the mayor, the $26 million donation, the $2 billion economic ripple effect, and the fans lining the barricades, are you still having a wedding, or are you just producing a billion-dollar live event?
That is the ultimate paradox of modern mega fame. They walked a razor-thin tightrope. They chose a concrete arena specifically to keep the cameras out, and they hired a comedian to keep the emotional core grounded.
But the moment they stepped outside, their names were projected onto the city's skyline. They've mastered the art of giving the public just enough of a performance to satisfy the global pop culture economy, while using the architecture of a stadium to fiercely guard the actual vulnerability of their vows.
It is a masterclass in narrative control. And it brings us to a thought I really want to leave you, our listener, with today.
Let's hear it.
If a billionaire couple can transform a piece of civic infrastructure like Madison Square Garden into an impenetrable fortress for 1,000 people, complete with custom Dior, diamond-encrusted flutes, and a $26 million philanthropic entry fee, what does this level of coordinated high-security milestone mean for the future of celebrity privacy?
It's a great question.
Have the milestones of the mega-famous permanently shifted from sacred, private ceremonies into highly produced, billion-dollar cultural spectacles that the rest of us just watch from the barricades?
The blueprint for celebrity milestones has absolutely been rewritten.
It really has. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.